Hey, what's up, YouTube? Coming back at you fast and fresh with another video about a viewer that left a comment on my most recent upload. He said, explain the process of using margin for bills, please. Thank you for saying please, man. Holy cow. I mean, just the politeness of this guy. But yeah, this video is about, he asked, explain margin for bills. So in this video, I'll be going over the exact process again of what margin is, how I pull from it, how it reaches my checking, how bills get paid, and the rules that keep it from becoming dangerous. Again, thank you for all the recent subscribers. I'm at 260 subscribers. I believe all things are possible. So I believe we can get to 1K by the end of the year, and I need your help to do that. So please go ahead and hit the like button. That pushes this out in the YouTube streets algorithm, where to reach more people, where ultimately more people's lives can be changed by following my journey, seeing that it works, and they can obtain wealth too. So this is a process, right? It's not just the margin headline. Margin is not free money. It's a loan against your portfolio. The system only works if borrowing is planned, capped, and paid back. So essentially, you can't really efficiently operate margin if you don't have a budget. So that's just fundamentals, basics. You need to know your income. You need to know your expenses for the whole month and what you have left over. The core system is invest first. The bill process is to use margin second, okay? Again, what is margin? Margin is borrowed money from your broker, backed by the value of your investments. It can increase flexibility, but it also creates debt, interest, and margin call risk. So on our side, my side, the portfolio equity is the stocks. It's actually what my holdings are, the ETFs and the cash value of those assets. Now, when I have to pay a bill, I like to go ahead and do my numbers in 2 week cycles so I know what I can expect to be pulled for the next 2 weeks for the bills until I get paid again. And I average roughly around 2,800 every 2 weeks for my bills. So I don't pull the 2,800 all at the same time. I pull it as the bills are due on that particular due date for that 2 week cycle after I get paid. So again, my income comes in, I invest some or all of it into assets. And then when the bills are paid, when the bills need to get paid, I pull from the margin that I have available, the withdrawal amount that I have available. In your broker, you will see when you want to withdraw, it'll say withdraw from margin or available for withdrawal. That essentially is your margin because you have no quote unquote cash because all your cash is invested into the market. So you're not selling none of your assets, but you can borrow up to a certain amount of what your holdings and your assets are. So the margin loan, that's the borrowed amount that you use and it must be repaid and it can accrue interest. The one thing I love about margin is not like a traditional loan. It's not like a traditional credit card. You can pay it back whenever you want to pay it back. There's no due date. There's no monthly payment. The whole object of it is to use that money to buy more assets, or in my case, to pay my bills in addition to buy assets. Okay. Now it is collateral pressure, which is the risk side. If the portfolio falls, the loan that I took out becomes heavier compared to the account value because once my equity begins to drop, the loan amount that I took out or what I pulled out from margin stays the same. If I took out 2K, that amount stays the same. However, if my equity is at 20K and the market drops and my equity goes down to 19K, I still owe that 2K that I took out, but my equity percentage has went lower because my equity as a whole amount went down from 20K to 19K. Okay. So in actuality, it'll be 17K. If your portfolio value is 20K, you pull out 2K for your bills. Now the value of your net account is 18K. Your gross is still 20. If the market drops and my portfolio goes down to 17K, now I still only owe 2K, but the equity has dropped the extra $1,000. Okay. This is the flow that I just explained. Paycheck comes in, I buy assets, the assets stay invested. Okay. And I rinse and repeat. And I only pull margin with planned bills that I know the bills have to get paid. So I know my bills before next month hits because I have everything already planned and scheduled and budgeted into the system. So this right here is a screenshot of inside my Robinhood of when I pull bills day by day when I need them. Again, the transfer step after I make the pull, I put it into my checkings account. From there, I have the choice to pay the bill out of my normal checking account. But what I do, I put the money over to my credit card, or I'll pay the bill with my credit card. So now my bill is paid, and the money that I pulled out from my broker account, Robinhood, that's sitting in my checking account now, I just put that back on the credit card. So, and the reason I do that is to arbitrage to get the 2% cash back from my Navy Federal credit card on all purchases. So every time I pay a bill now, I'm getting 2% on the amount that I pay. So you see at the top, it says I withdrew 220, that was for a bill. 223, that was for a bill. 73, that was for a bill. 250, all these are for bills. And I put these bills, I pay the bill through my credit card. And these withdrawals that you see on the right side, they go back on the credit card. So I'm getting 2% cash back on every payment or every bill that I pay. Okay. Now, after I pull from margin, two things exist. The bills get paid, but the brokerage now carries a margin balance that must be respected. This is why I like to cap at 28%, especially in this phase of my account value. The bills get paid, the checking account has money available for real expenses, so the household keeps running. The cash flow problem is solved. I have access to my funds or the value of my account. The responsibility on my part as a disciplined, wise man of God to make sure my household is running like it should. This is the reason why I said budget and have all these things planned so you're not just freestyling doing these things. All right, if we can't be trusted with little, how is God going to trust us with much? So, I have a margin balance now, and the brokerage account now has a borrowed money outstanding. The loan does not disappear. So I have created a debt, but it will be paid back down the next 2 weeks when I get paid again. And this is why I keep the 28% margin cap, because I want to be responsible and I want to keep a little dry powder on the sideline when the market does dip more and more. I have more equity to borrow against to buy more shares at a deep discounted price. This cap gives the system a boundary so the account does not depend too much on borrowed money, right? This is why I keep it at 28%. I know Sean at Paycheck to Portfolio, he operates at 50%. Just me personally, my risk tolerance, I just keep it at 28%. A lower margin ratio gives me more room if the portfolio falls. And I do have put insurance. I always have put insurance on my account. I mean, I always have a QQQ put. Always, I buy it every 6 weeks. I buy for a month and a half out. And before that put expires, 7 days, I just I roll it and do it all over again. So if the market does dip, my portfolio can absorb that downturn because I have that put inside my portfolio. So if margin gets too high, drawdowns become dangerous, or normal market pullback can quickly turn into pressure if the loan is too large. But if margin stays controlled, the system can breathe. There's more room to survive volatility and avoid con- forced, pressured, stressed decisions. and we don't want to run any system stress. Okay. How to think about margin percentages. All right, this matters because margin is just more than withdrawal from your account. A small withdrawal can be fine. Repeated withdrawals without tracking can become a dangerous margin balance. We don't use this for lifestyle creep. We don't use this to just go out here wilding out. We use this to buy assets so that we can be wealthy, so that we can live like we want to live, right? So right now, every time that I pull the max amount of bills for my 2 weeks, I'm at 14%. The cap is 28%. So that's a full month of pulling bills without putting my paycheck in every 2 weeks. But when I put my paycheck in every 2 weeks, my margin stays around 15%. So I use around 15%. So the equity stays around 80 to 85% equity. That's my cap. 35%, I don't never want to see 35%. And Lord knows I do not want to see 50% of margin. When margin goes against you, the account changes fast. The dangerous part is that margin balance stays while the portfolio can continue to fall, which is very important. Before the drop, your account value, as this example, can be 20K. Margin is manageable because equity is still strong. When the market drops, the portfolio drops, and now your account can be at 15K, while the bills you pull, the margin stays at 2.5K. So your equity shrinks. So let's use this example. The 3K that you pull for bills and your account value is at 20, you're essentially at 85% equity. If the market drops, but you still have that 2.9K margin balance, your equity now could be at 70% because your account value has dropped to instead of 20K, now it's at 15K. So the more your account drops in value, the closer you can get to a margin call. And I went over a margin call in my last video. So if you don't know what a margin call is, the last recent video that I uploaded, I have that video covering that whole topic. So you just need to keep track of your margin, need to keep track of your bills and your expenses, and just follow the system. Again, what is a margin call? A margin call happens when your equity falls below the broker's required maintenance level. The number one, the portfolio value falls, your collateral gets weaker, which is your equity against your loans, the amount you can borrow against your loans. Two, the requirement is breached. The broker wants the account repaired, meaning they will sell your shares, which is three. You must add cash, sell assets, or face forced liquidation by the broker. Right? I'm telling you, they'll just begin to start selling. The timing hurts because forced selling often happens when prices are already down, and those are the prices where you need to be buying. Buy at a deep discount, right? That's the name of the game. Buy at deep discounts. So the point of the last video and this video answering Mr. Edmonds' question about how to pay bills from margin, in addition to how to pay bills and margin, if you understand truly what margin is, it can help you compound exponentially faster. Because if we use a system where we can survive the drawdown, we can catch the market rebound. We can compound our gains so much quicker. So you lose control, which is the main danger. The broker's priorities is account requirements, not your long-term plan. They don't care about our long-term plan. They just care about their requirements that they require for you to have the account. So having a margin cap, it creates distance, it creates breathing room. The lower the starting margin ratio, the more room you have before a call becomes realistic. The process is simple. The discipline is the edge. Margin can help pay bills while assets stay invested. but only when the process is planned, tracked, capped, and respected. So again, the system is step one, we invest. Your income comes in. Whatever you deem after doing your research, you're comfortable with investing out your check, you invest. You withdraw from your margin to pay your normal bill. Step four, before you do all this, you control the risk by having a plan. So the final answer to the comment, Mr. Edmond, sir, I use margin as a control bridge for planned bills after I invest. Not as free money, not as random spending, and not without a cap. So, sir, I hope that answered your video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you see the link in the description of where you can get your 12-month plan for free. You click the link, you put your monthly numbers in, your 2-week check amount, you put your monthly bills in, you have no margin balance, just put your margin balance 0, put your account value at 2K or 2,500. You know that you need at least 2K or 2,500 to have margin. But if you put your numbers in, it will give you a 12-month plan where you can study it. When you can assess it, you can see what the plan would look like if you start to implement it. And also you will see in the description box the links to Sean Grady himself, Paycheck to Portfolio System, his Discord community. We'll be around a lot of people who are doing the system, a lot of people who have already got the answers that you may still have. You'll see a lot of people are doing the system. You'll just be with a like-minded group of people who are doing this system wise and doing it to get wealthy to free their families from the corporate 9-to-5 life. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Blessings. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Can continue to rock with me. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button so this video can hit the YouTube streets so we can reach more people's lives. Bye, share, save souls, checking out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.